Hi, my name is Hilda, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. This is where I chronicle my journey through learning about the interconnectedness of physical, mental, social, and intellectual health. Today, I want to talk about a phrase that I think we've all heard, that youth is wasted on the young. As I've gotten older, I've realized how true that phrase can be. When I was younger, I thought I knew everything, pretty much. And I also thought that if I did all the right things, you know, graduate from school, go to university, um, even volunteer, get the job, work hard, that things would just fall into place. That the trajectory of my life was sort of set because I was a good person, I did the right things, therefore life should follow suit. Now looking back on it, I realized that was really just the hubris of youth, honestly, because in my life it has not worked out in that manner so far. I did do the right things insofar as I went to school, I graduated, I got degrees, and so on and so forth, had jobs. But what nobody really tells you is in a lot of jobs, people aren't too keen on you actually moving up, on mentoring you or helping you to get to the next step. In a lot of cases, they're very happy for you to stay where you are. Either because you are very good at your job and they don't want to find someone to replace you, or possibly because they're threatened by you and they don't want you to move up because they know that you are a better worker than they are. Either way, it doesn't benefit the person that's trying to get ahead, trying to move up, trying to learn and better themselves. And I also started wondering what my life may have been if I had made different choices. What if I'd taken this job instead of that job? What if I had skipped this travel and tried for this internship instead? What if I just hadn't gone to university? I certainly wouldn't have student loan debt. Ultimately, when I think about this question, I sort of realize that, both good and bad, my choices so far have made me who I am today. And I think overall, I am happy with who I am as a person. I may not be happy with my circumstances. That's different though. Some of that is out of my control. But I think, for example, with travel, I chose travel instead of, staying in a possible dead end job or maybe going for a promotion or applying to a different job. Do I regret that? Sometimes I wonder, what if? But ultimately, I've never regretted any of my travels. It is probably the best money that I've ever spent, any of the trips that I've gone on in the past. And I do realize I speak from a place of privilege insofar as I have been able to travel to several different countries. It also helps that I am European, so traveling between countries is a little bit easier there than from America, which is where I am now. When we are younger, I think the adults in our lives always try to give us advice. Oftentimes it's parents, sometimes aunts, uncles. They mean well and they do share their wisdom. But I think that's another sort of folly of the youth is wasted on the young, because at that point, we're not ready to hear it. As I've gotten older, I've realized more and more things that I've been told from different generations has rung true. But I've also realized that ultimately my journey is my own. Some of the mistakes I've made, if I had listened, I may not have made. But at the same time, those were also my mistakes to make and my mistakes to learn from. And perhaps if I had listened and I hadn't made those mistakes, does that mean I would be better off right now? Not necessarily. Maybe that would have meant that I would have made even bigger mistakes. There's no way to know. I do think we should, as a society, put a little bit more emphasis on listening to other generations and the wisdom that they provide. In a lot of cases, they come from a different world, one without social media. They grew up in a different time, went through different hardships. But at the core of everything, we're still humans. We still long for love and connection. And that's always been true, no matter what time you were born in. It's just a matter that we go about getting that has changed with technology. I think dismissing intergenerational wisdom too quickly as something just old people say is a folly. I think listening and taking it in is really, really important. And there's actually a YouTube channel that I've been following for a little bit called Sprout that does that. They go out and they talk to older people, people in their 70s, 80s, 90s, sometimes in their hundreds, about what wisdom or what advice they would give the young people today or even their younger selves. And it sort of started making me reflect on this. And I'm not even halfway through my journey, hopefully, at this point. I am old enough to understand the power that knowledge has always had, and will always have in some capacity. Yes, our world is changing now, but wisdom and experience cannot be replaced by machines, try as we might. For me, one of the best decisions I ever made was going to teach English in South Korea. At that time, no one, friends or family, thought that was a good idea. Everyone wanted me to take the safer route, stay in the job, apply for other jobs. This is going to delay you, things like that. They meant well, absolutely. But I knew that was something I had to do, something that I would always wonder, what if I didn't do? And I don't regret it at all. I spent over a year living in South Korea, and from there, on my way back, I drove through both islands in New Zealand. That particular trip, along with my time in Korea, have created amazing amount of memories for me and experiences that I cannot replace. My time spent at jobs, good or bad, is a way to earn money. It is not my passion to go to work to pay the bills, but it is something I have to do, something we all have to do. But South Korea was a job that I took that meant something to me, not just in teaching English, but in moving abroad. The first month was tough. I won't lie. It takes time to adjust. And even though I've already done this before, this time I was alone. I wasn't with my family. But once I was adjusted, it was amazing. I had my own routine. I figured out my own things. It taught me more about myself, what I like and what I dislike. So did my solo trip through New Zealand. It was amazing to be able to do that by myself, to see all the things there. It's one of the most beautiful countries that I've ever been to. Definitely one of my favorites that I visited. Would I be in a different place, financially, job-wise, if I had stayed? In my opinion, no. But I can't know that for sure. Maybe a dream job would have appeared, halfway through the time that I was in South Korea. But I can't look at what ifs in the past. All I can do is make decisions with the knowledge that I have at the time that I'm making them. And at that time, that was the best decision. Even today, I think a lot of people don't understand why I did it. But after having gone through it, I wouldn't change it. That's the important thing about learning from other people. Your opportunities may be different than what was possible for someone that's of an older generation. That's neither here nor there, but that means in some cases when they tell you to take the safer road, it's because they had no other option. And in some cases, taking the safer road might be the best choice for you, but you have to make that decision for yourself. You cannot rely on others to make it for you. You cannot absolve yourself of decisions about what to do with your own life. I've learned that taking chances, no matter how small, will lead to personal growth. Sometimes there's growing pains. That's okay. Face it head on. You will get through it. You will move through it. It's okay. Not everything is meant to be happy-go-lucky and successful. Some choices you make will be mistakes, and that's okay. Learn from them. Move forward. But don't let them hold you back. Don't be afraid to make more mistakes. Life is all about experiences. Hopefully most of them will be good. But if you live any kind of a life that's not as a hermit in a hole, you will make mistakes. You will be hurt. You will feel bad. You will probably hurt other people. Learn from it. Grow from it. Become a better person. And then maybe one day you can share your wisdom with the younger generation, who will probably ignore it to a certain extent. But speaking to the older generation, I think you might underestimate how much of it actually gets through us younger people, and people even younger than me. It's worth sharing. Now, as I'm facing crossroads in my own life, I want to hear from others, their experiences. What was good? What was bad? What did they learn? How did it change their lives? Do they have any what ifs? Do they wonder? Do they wish they'd made different choices? I think I'm in a stage where I really want to absorb knowledge from other people about their life and their life perspective and how they view choices that they've done, that they will do, that they hope to do. I think it's very interesting. Ultimately, I know my journey is my own to chart. No matter how many stories I listen to, at the end of the day, I still have to make the choices. I have to be an active participant in my life. So, what life lessons have you learned lately? Leave it in the comments below. I would love to continue this discussion and hear from you. But for now, I'm going to leave you here, and I hope to see you again in a different video. And I would love it if you would hit subscribe and like as well. And I look forward to seeing you in another one. Bye for now.